What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Dominic Rich, and today we're gonna take a look at the Brazilian World Cup squad. So, look, man, Brazil. Are they gonna win it this time around? Every World Cup, Brazil go into the tournament as one of the favorites, and this time around they look good. They just announced their squad. The squad is stacked up. They could have taken a lot of other players, but they have a lot to choose from. So, you know, it's like you think about it and you're like, ah, could Firmino, could have, should he have been in the squad? Could they have taken guys like Danilo? But we're going to take a look at the Brazil World Cup squad briefly. Like, they're grouped in Group G with Serbia, Switzerland again. And the last time around, it was Costa Rica, but now it's Cameroon. And we're just going to take a brief look at the squad, nothing crazy. But before we do, let's take a look at the 2018 squad where they got all the way to the quarterfinals and got knocked out by Belgium, as you guys could recall. So let's take a look at their 2018, World Cup squad. And then we actually gonna take a look at the current squad. So let's just pull up this squad and we see who's back for the squad and who missed out. So look, you guys could see Alisson, he's back in the squad, but let's take a look at the squad. Let's just take a look at the 2018 squad and just see how the squad has actually improved, if it has improved or is it the same. So Alisson, Thiago Silva, Miranda. Remember him back when he was at Inter, very good defender. Pedro Jeromel, he was a local base player. Casemiro, Felipe Luis, formerly of Atletico Madrid and Chelsea. Douglas Costa, back when he was at Juventus, but he had a great time with Pep Guardiola there at Bayern Munich. Renato Augusto, remember Renato Augusto? He was one of Tite's favorite players, man. He just loved Renato Augusto and Paulinho. You have Gabriel Jesus, Neymar, Philippe Coutinho. Philippe Coutinho, guys. The forgotten man, Philippe Coutinho, was at Barcelona back in 2018. Marcelo was listed as the captain of the team. He still plays. He's at Olympiacos, Real Madrid. Marquinhos. You know him at PSG, quality. Danilo was at Man City them days, now at Juventus. Paulinho was at Barcelona. He got a shock move to Barcelona, and he was one of Tite's favorite player along with Renato Augusto. Those guys were dangerous, man. When those guys came on, they were like his go-to players. Casio, backup goalkeeper. Fernandinho of Manchester City. Fred of Shakhtar when he was at Shakhtar. Then he moved to United in that same summer. Willian, who is now at Fulham, formerly of Chelsea. Roberto Firmino of Liverpool. Tyson of Shakhtar Donetsk. Remember Tyson, guys? Fagner. Remember Fagner, who ended up, I think he ended up playing at right back in some games, if I'm not mistaken. And Ederson of Manchester City. So that was what the Brazil squad looked like back in 2018. They didn't win the World Cup. Could this squad go on to do so? Let's take a look at the current squad and let me know your thoughts on the squad here as well. So let's take a look at the squad. Stacked up, man. Stacked up from back to front and even on the bench, And I'm going to let you know if I think these players deserve to be in a squad or not and who could have been called in. You guys could also give me some suggestions as well. Big up to everybody watching the live stream. And we have the Lego Dude. We have AD in here. We have Sharon FX. We have Marcel in the house. Who else we got in the house here, man? Big up to you guys. Appreciate you tuning in to the live stream. Won't be super long, but just want to comment on the Brazilian squad. And I can't believe I actually did not catch it when it came out right away. But during the day I saw it and I'm like, I have to talk about this. So in the goalkeeping department, Alisson Becker of Liverpool and Ederson Moraes of Man City are back. And Weverton, currently of Palmeiras, fits as the third goalkeeper, replacing Casio from the 2018 squad. So, Weverton, he's a very good backup for Brazil. He doesn't get a lot of game time, but he's a very good goalkeeper. I've seen him a couple times. And I think they're good when it comes to the goalkeeping department. Alisson should be in goal ahead of Ederson. And maybe if they already qualify after 2 games, Ederson might come in for the third game of the group, because I don't think Ederson should be the number 1 man for Brazil. Even though he's very good with his feet, I think Alisson is a better shot stopper and might provide better cover for Brazil. Even though he got a mistake in him or two, I'll give it to Alisson Becker over Ederson. You know what I mean? Not because he's my Man City player. I'm gonna just say Alisson right now. Their defense: Thiago Silva, the veteran. Marquinhos. I approve of those players because Thiago Silva still do have some miles in his legs. Eder Militao has done really well for Real Madrid, so his place is warranted. Gleison Bremer. He has risen up the ranks from his days at Torino, now at Juventus. So it's a good backup option. Danilo is in the team. I actually looked at the squad today and I missed Danilo. I thought he missed out on the squad, but along with Dani Alves, he will be shouldering the right back duties. So Dani Alves, currently of Pumas in the Mexican League, went back to Barcelona. He's a veteran, almost 40 years old, right? So they do have two senior citizens in their defense. And I don't think both those players, Thiago Silva and Dani Alves, will be playing at the same time. Or maybe, who knows, maybe they could. But it's good to have those senior players in the squad to just give you that, that leadership and keep the squad together when things are going, array. So Alexandro is in the squad. He wasn't in the 2018 World Cup squad, right? He wasn't in the squad from what we just checked. Alexandro did not make the squad. So he's a good, I always like Alexandro, but Juventus are not doing too great right now, but they did come up with a big win there against Inter. So, I always like Alexandro for some reason. And Alex Telles. This is where I don't agree with that move, with the Telles move. I really don't agree with Telles being there. But who else could they have taken? Do you guys have any suggestions who Brazil could have taken in place of Telles at left back? Because I don't agree with the Telles move at all. I really don't. So I'm trying to make this a little bigger, but it's not actually getting bigger. So, but I don't agree with the Telles move at all. I really, really don't. Do you guys have any suggestions, though? Let me see if anybody has any suggestions. Renan Lodi, very good shout, Marcel. Very good shout. But maybe because Renan Lodi actually moved from Atleti, he was a bit out of favor over there, and he moved from Atleti to Nottingham Forest. Maybe that actually hampered his chances of getting into the World Cup squad. Maybe they could have taken somebody from the local league. But right now, look, I don't have much suggestions, but I think Lodi may have been a better fit than Alex Telles, if you ask me. So I got this a little bigger for you guys there. But any more suggestion there? So Marcel is saying, I think the fullback positions in Brazil, weak point, if you think about it. Yeah, they always had a, iffy kind of, situation at fullback. Look who's at right back. It's Danilo. You see what I'm saying? I no disrespect to Danilo. I like him, formerly of Man City and Real Madrid, but he's not the greatest. You see what I'm saying? Just want to put it out there. So the midfield, you have Casemiro and Fred of Manchester United. Fred has been playing good, and he does perform a lot better for Brazil. I have to say, he does perform really well for Brazil. And Casemiro, we know how good he is. Fabinho, whose form has dipped as of late, makes the squad. So, I don't think he lost enough points that he would have been dropped from the Brazil squad. So, I guess good pick. Quality is still there. But Bruno Guimaraes, not a surprise pick whatsoever. I think he's actually going to start for Brazil. He should start for Brazil. And Lucas Paqueta usually starts, but he's currently injured for West Ham. He's getting back to fitness, so he might carry an injury into the tournament. He has been starting a lot of games for Brazil there. And Everton Ribeiro. So he's currently at who's that? Flamengo. So Everton Ribeiro. I'm actually I just want to see if I'm thinking about the same player. If Everton Ribeiro, okay, yeah, I'm not thinking about the same player, but this is one of the players that has been there for a while. I think he was at the Club World Cup with Flamengo a few years ago when they played against Liverpool and all. Yeah, I think he was there. Yes, he's been there since 2017. So he has some experience there. He's 33 years old. And Tita likes to carry a couple local players in the team, so he's one of them. One of only, I think, 3 local Brazilian based players. So the midfield, it's not the greatest midfield, but I'm pretty sure you have versatile players who could, fall back a bit. You know what I'm saying? So, like you think Neymar, who might be maybe play attacking midfield. So, look, the forwards. This is where Brazil could win the World Cup. This is where they could win the World Cup. As Sharon is saying, attacking options are good. This is where they could really, really stamp the authority on the other teams there. Gabriel Martinelli, we know how good he's been for Arsenal. Like, goddamn, he's having a great season. And the way Arsenal scouted him and picked him up came out of obscurity. He's been doing really, really good. His place warranted. We don't see any Firmino in the squad. And I think that's a bit of a surprise to me because Firmino has been in good form and his experience would have actually helped. His versatility and work rate would have actually helped, in my opinion. So I don't agree with leaving Firmino out of the team, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? So if you roll down to the bottom, you could see Pedro Guilherme in the squad. I don't know the player very well. I really don't know the player very well. I'm not gonna act like I know the player very well. I don't know the player at all. He's a Flamengo, and maybe his place is warranted if you have more insight on him. Let me know. I don't watch the Brazilian league, but I think Firmino could have easily got his place. You see what I mean? But anyways, maybe Pedro Guilherme is an element of surprise that Tite wanted to go with, or he just wanted to carry some local base players in the squad. So look, we got Neymar, automatic pick, of course, one of the world's best players currently at PSG. Hopefully at this World Cup, we don't have a lot of Oscar performances from him rolling around on the ground because that really, put a bad taste in a lot of football fans' mouth back in 2018 where he was just play acting most of the time. So Neymar just need to get his act together, and he is the one who Brazil need to depend on. Not solely, but he has to be their talismanic player that could just work magic and make things happen if they're going to win the World Cup. That has eluded them since 2002. So, look, man, it's a World Cup is overdue for Brazil. They walk the CONMEBOL qualifiers and they go into the World Cup and then they get knocked out. You see what I'm saying? So you got Vinicius Jr. for Real Madrid. He's been on absolute fire. I'm pretty sure he was one of the first names on the team. For example, right, if you have all these blank spaces to fill in the names, I think Vinicius was one of the first ones. Bam, put his name down. He's going. And I like the growth and maturity of Vinicius because he was heavily criticized at the start of last season. And he just completely changed his form around. Like, we always knew that he had a lot of potential, but it's like he just went beast mode last season. Won the Champions League. They won the league as well. And this season, he's continuing where he left off. So, Vinicius, definitely a good pick. Anthony, oh man, this player, you know how stylish he is. He got into the Brazilian team. And while he was at Ajax and at Man United, he's been playing well. And I think he definitely deserves a place in the team. Look, Rafinha, what he did at Leeds, I think he gets into the team on the strength of what he did at Leeds United. That's where most people know him from, Leeds United. Has not had the best time at Barcelona after his big move, his dream move, but I still think he's good enough to cause some havoc there on the wings. Richarlison, he's a he has to be in the squad. And he's a type of player, he's not as prolific as you might think he is. You might think he scores a whole lot of goals, but he doesn't, you know what I'm saying? But he's that player that could actually make something happen when you need something to happen and you need players to get under the opposition's skin and you just need some magic. And Richarlison could definitely provide that for you, man. He's currently at Tottenham Hotspur. He's done well, picked up a little injury, but he's shown how important of a player he could be. Next up, Rodrigo of Real Madrid. Also a player I think could step up another level, but he has shown his maturity. He has shown his worth and how devastating he could be as well. I'm a Man City fan. I know this. You see what I'm saying? So he could be one of those impact substitute that come off the bench if Brazil needs a goal. I doubt they'll be in that position on many occasions in the earlier stages of the World Cup, but you never ever know, man. So Rodrigo definitely a good pick. And then there's Gabriel Jesus. His move to Arsenal has proven to be a very, very good one. He did well at Man City, but at Arsenal, it seems like he went up a notch. He's gone through a little dry spell as of late, but still we know how good Gabriel Jesus has been, nutmegging players, bamboozling defenders, and he definitely deserves a place in the team. For Brazil, for some reason, while he was at City, he wasn't starting a lot of games, but for Brazil, he's like one of those automatic picks in the team. They like him. Tite likes Gabriel Jesus. And last but not least, Pedro Guilherme. Don't know the player very well, and I'm not going to pretend that I know him, so I think, he might not see a lot of game time. He might not. But with 5 substitutes being used at the World Cup, maybe he will. Maybe he will get a little run out when, if Brazil is, let's say, 3-0 up in a game against one of these teams. Or you never know. He could get a run out. So players missing from the squad, guys. If we go back to the 2018 World Cup squad, Tyson, of course, he's falling down the pecking order. Fagner, Roberto Firmino, a notable absentee. Willian, of course, he's fallen off a bit. Fernandinho, he's gotten up there in age. I think he retired from international football. And talk about Brazilians, man. Man City had how many Brazilians last season? They had Gabriel Jesus, Fernandinho, and Ederson. And now I think we only got one Brazilian player in the team, and that's Ederson, which is weird. We need a Brazilian. You know what I'm saying? Another notable absentee in the team, of course, Paulinho. Paulinho, I don't know if he's retired or if he's just out of favor, but I don't think these Brazilians retire that early because remember during the qualifiers we saw Hulk got a recall, right? He saw Hulk. I think Hulk was at the 2014 World Cup, but where Brazil was embarrassed on home soil. So Cassio does not make it. Backup goalkeeper Cassio. Paulinho is not there. Marcelo, he's not there. Felipe Coutinho, I think, could have made the squad, but because of his poor form with Aston Villa as of late, he missed out. Let's say the World Cup squad was picked based on last season. Yeah, maybe Coutinho could have slipped in because he went to Aston Villa and he did well, but he doesn't make the squad. Douglas Costa misses out. Renato Augusto misses out. Felipe Luis, Pedro Gimarel, Jeromel, and Miranda, the lanky defender. But Miranda is also another player who was recently called up for Brazil. During the qualifiers, I could remember Miranda was in one of the squads. So, anybody could have been called up, man. Guys, any other absentee? So Lionel Castillo said Oscar from Shanghai SIPG should be on the squad. But the thing is, Oscar and those guys that went to Brazil basically screwed themselves. You see what I mean? Went to China, pardon me. When they went to China, they screwed themselves. A lot of players did. Some countries didn't really look into it that much, but a lot of players screwed themselves when they went to China, though. So, guys, just wanted to react to the Brazil squad. They would be in the same group as Switzerland again. Serbia. It's funny, right? Same teams. and Cameroon. So it's going to be a tough group, but Brazil should get through the group easily into the round of 16. I'll continue to do these live streams as we get closer to the World Cup and we discuss some more burning issues and look at some more squads as well. The Japanese squad they dropped. I didn't look at that, but we'll do that in a future video. Though, what the Brazil squad is worth doing a live stream for. Indeed, I actually wasn't gonna do this live. This was supposed to actually be unlisted, so I'm actually live by mistake. I was like, oops. But it was nice having you guys here with me while I discuss the Brazilian World Cup squad. Did the England squad drop yet, though, Marcel? I will take a look at the England squad, but I don't think it was dropped yet. I don't think it came out. But yeah. So, guys, I'm gonna edit my Group D World Cup prediction video. So make sure you go check out all the others that I've done. Let me know what you think Brazil would do at the World Cup. Definitely one of the favorites, man. Definitely. I'll discuss my favorites in a separate video. I'll come up with maybe 5 teams that I think could actually go on to win the World Cup and put out a video on that. So, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. I won't be here super long. 21 minutes, I think, is good enough. Let me know if you think the squad could go on to win the World Cup or you think they'll maybe get to the quarters at most and flop again, because that would be a flop for Brazil. So one of the most entertaining and exciting teams to actually watch play. Whenever there's a Brazil game on, you don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. So brace yourselves. Let's see what Brazil would do at the World Cup. Let's see, if they'll get knocked out by a Belgium or a Denmark or who knows this time around, or whether they'll go on to win the whole thing. So, guys, I'm your boy, Dominic Rich, coming to you with the World Cup heat. Subscribe if you're new. Like the video if you haven't yet done so. Let me know what you think about the squad once again. And until next time, peace out. Rich Squad.